How to steal. Stealing is something we have to learn in order to survive this highly competitive world. If you want to be an effective thief, learn how to steal ideas from other people, mercilessly, with no remorse and no consequences. If you learn to do it right, stealing is defined as taking something without permission, with no intention to return it back. Now, when we take ideas from others, do we intend to return it back to them? Well, first of all, once you acquire an idea from someone, you can't return it back because it's in your mind forever. Thus, taking ideas from others is the purest form of stealing there is, and the most disregarded form, and the most effective form. First of all, you have to understand stealing as the natural, ordinary state of acquisition for most things in life. When we were children, we used to steal the behaviors and the thinking, the acting of our parents, for example, or the models around us. As we grew into teenage years, the models have simply switched to something different. We decided to behave like our favorite bands, to dress like our favorite bands, to steal the behaviors from quote-unquote cool kids. You may call this trying to fit in or modeling. While actually behind the layers lies the intrinsic need of wanting to acquire things which are not already part of ourselves. For example, acquiring quote-unquote coolness, validation, or love from our parents, or love from the models around us. And to acquire so, we steal from the external world what we want in ourselves. As we become adults, we shame and repress this part of ourselves, convincing ourselves that we're good enough, that we're competent enough, that we can think for ourselves independently of what others think. While actually what we're doing is we're stunting our growth by telling ourselves that there's nothing else to steal, nothing else to acquire. We're suppressing this childhood self that wants to keep evolving and acquiring knowledge. So I invite you to revert back to this authentic, rebellious self. Now, let's look at examples throughout history. Did Alexander Graham Bell invent the telephone? Think again. There's an Italian inventor by the name of Antonio Meucci who came with the first ever prototype of the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell took that prototype and he made it into his own invention later. Before Meucci had the time to sue him, he was already dead. And with this theft, he was able to create a company and brand that we know today as Bell. Now, who invented the telephone now? Also, think of Thomas Edison. He took the inventions of Nikola Tesla and he appropriated it as his own invention, putting his name on it. He stole the idea and he made all the commissions from it, while Nikola Tesla was left in la la land, singing to birds and talking to birds. As long as the invention is out there, no one really cared whose idea it was. Now let's look at contemporary issues. With music, for example. Black Eyed Peas stole a complete piece for their soundtrack, Pump It, that actually they stole from Misirlou, that was composed by Dick Dale. For their track, I Got a Feeling, they actually stole it from Brian Pringle's Take a Drive. Who was more successful at the end, the stealer or the victim? If you were intending of learning to steal materialistic things and objects, I propose to you to steal something that is infinitely more rewarding and more valuable than materialistic things. Stealing objects, you risk heavy persecutions. While stealing ideas, the risk is practically none if you learn to do it artfully without anyone noticing it. Ideas, contrary to materialistic things, are boundless. Thus, you can steal as many ideas as you want. As soon as someone utters words, those words are suspended in the air and they become prey for acquisition from anybody. Now, be careful with this. If you copy, you're making it obvious to the world that you're plagiarizing from somebody else. But if you're stealing abundantly from everyone, no one will know who you took the idea from. They will not be able to see the connections. Through this abundant mindset of stealing, you make seemingly creative, unique ideas come to life and flourish. If you copy and paste, you have to credit the other person. But if you stole from so many people, you don't have to credit anyone. Think about it. This brilliant idea you took from someone else, they took it from somebody else and they've altered it to their liking. And this person took it from somebody else before that and took it to their liking. Wealth can be found anywhere, not necessarily in a piece of paper or a number in your bank account, but wealth can be found in any idea around you. Now, here's a creative exercise for you to tap into this inner thief of yourself. Take two role models that you highly look up to and make sure that those two role models are as different as you can in terms of field of study, domain, skill set, personality types, whatever. Write this down on a piece of paper. For example, you could take Mozart and Barack Obama, Gandhi and Michael Jordan, Picasso and Einstein. Those are just ridiculous examples, but make sure they're as distantiated as possible. Now, those two people could also be people close to you, like a parent, a mentor, a close friend, a coach, whatever it could be. I want you to look between those two people and write down all the resemblances between those two people. You might start off and you'll just find, oh, they both have two eyes. Write this down. They both have hands. Write this down. And then as you go deeper into your exploration, you realize, wait, they both have this idea about changing the world. They both have an intense sense of discipline. And then keep going, keep going, keep going. The further down you go, the more creative or hidden ideas that you'll be able to steal from them. And this common idea that comes together will be your own creative realization. Do you have to credit any of those two people? Not really, because you came up with this link. Just take it from them. Take it, make it your own. This is your idea now. Look at how you can apply this idea that you found into your own life, into your own work, into your own art, into your own business. So I invite you to steal those ideas away from me. And I'll steal your ideas that you leave in the comments.